I looked at him, trying to make out his features in the half-light. He had a long face with a square chin and small narrow eyes. His skin was pale, and if he hadn't been outdoors in a while, his hair was somewhere between brown and grey, hanging down in clumps. His clothes looked old and second-hand, a sports jacket and baggy corduroys, the sort of clothes a gardener might wear. His fingers were unusually long. One hand was resting on his thigh, and his fingers reached all the way to his knee. "Have you been out for the day?" he asked. "Yes." My father knew that he'd annoyed my mother, and he was determined to be cheerful and chatty, to show that he wasn't ashamed of what he'd done. "We've been in Southwold. It's a beautiful place." "Oh, yes." He glanced at me, and I saw he had a scar running over his eye. It began on his forehead and ended on his cheek, and it seemed to have pushed the eye a little to one side. It wasn't quite level with the other one. "Do you know Southwold?" my father asked. "No." "So where have you come from today?" The man thought for a moment. "I broke down near Lowestoft," he said, and somehow I knew he was lying. For a start, Lowestoft was a long way away, right on the border with Norfolk. If he'd broken down there, how could he have managed to get all the way back to Southwold? And why bother? It would have been easier to jump on a train and go straight to Ipswich. I opened my mouth to say something, but the man looked at me again, more sharply this time. Maybe I was imagining it, but he could have been warning me. Don't say anything. Don't ask any difficult questions. "What's your name?" my mother asked. I don't know why she wanted to know. "Relic," he said. "Ian Relic." He smiled slowly. "This your son in the back?" "Yes, that's Jacob. He's 15 today." "His birthday." The man uncurled his hand and held it out to me. "Happy birthday, Jacob." "Thank you." I took the hand. It was like holding a dead fish. At the same time, I glanced down and saw that his sleeve had pulled back, exposing his wrist. There was something glistening on his skin, and it wasn't rainwater. It was dark red, trickling down all the way to the edge of his hand, rising over the fleshy part of his thumb. Blood. Whose blood? His own? He pulled his hand away, hiding it behind him. He knew I'd seen it. Maybe he wanted me to. We drove on. A cloud must have burst, because it was really lashing down. You could hear the rain thumping the car roof, and the windscreen wipers were having a real struggle, having to work hard to sweep it aside. I couldn't believe we'd been walking on the beach only a few hours before. "Lucky we got in," my mother said, reading my mind. "It's bad," my father said. "It's hell," the man muttered. Hell. It was a strange choice of word. He shifted in his seat. "What do you do?" he asked. "I'm a dentist." "Really? I haven't seen a dentist, not for a long time." He ran his tongue over his teeth. His tongue was pink and wet. The teeth were yellow and uneven. I guessed he hadn't cleaned them in a while. "You should go twice a year," my father said. "You're right, I should." There was a rumble of thunder, and at that exact moment the man turned to me and mouthed 2 words. He didn't say them, just mouthed them, making sure my parents couldn't see. "You're dead." I stared at him, completely shaken. At first I thought I must have misunderstood him. Maybe he had something else, and the words had got lost in the thunderclap. And then he nodded slowly, telling me I wasn't wrong. That's what he'd said. That's what he'd meant.